All right, media, thanks for joining. Tonight you'll hear from head coach Derek Fisher, Seimone Augustus, Sydney Wiese, and Tierra Ruffin-Pratt. We'll go right into questions. We'll start with Pavi with H&B Media.
Hey, Coach, how are you?
Good, Pavi. How you doing?
I'm good. With the first game being 4 or 5 days away, obviously you're not going to be at 100% full throttle immediately. But how close are you to where you want to be for game one right now?
I mean, I think we're in a good place because we have our bodies available. I mean, I think this season, although it's condensed and very unusual in terms of how it's going to start, the pace of the games, you still want to be able to be standing, in mid to late August and into September. So, I think we are in a good place, but there's a ton of room, for us to get better, hopefully over time. And so we're just going to have to trust that whatever things look like Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, these first few weeks, even a month, like it takes time to become great. We got great names on paper. We will be able to do some great things out there, but becoming a team that's a journey. That's a process. And hopefully we're willing to hold ourselves to enduring the process of it as we move through. But I think we like our chances.
Leah Secondo, Spectrum.
Derek, from the Wubble perspective, here in Bradenton, you look out and you haven't really been able to explore or enjoy our great area here, especially our beaches and stuff. So when you're traveling from IMG maybe over to even Feld, is there something that you can see but you just can't touch because you're in the Wubble that you'd like to experience in the area?
No, I mean, obviously when we drive over the bridge, there's so much beautiful water, surrounded by beaches and, it looks nice, but, that's not what we're here for, really. So, we, whether we liked it or not, we had a lot of time, to whether seeing things virtually, whether people visiting, and doing things in their personal time, depending on which city or state you lived in and where the stay-at-home orders were. We've all had time for sightseeing, whether it's in person or virtual. And, as nice as this area is, this really is a business trip for us. And if and when there's an opportunity down the line to have some orchestrated and, things that are protecting everybody's health and safety that the league can put together, maybe we'll be open to it. But we've really asked our players and everybody here to take, COVID seriously, to respect what's going on here in the state of Florida, and that we have a responsibility, as nice as this area is, to keep ourselves in the quote unquote Wubble and, make sure we're here to do our jobs.
We'll go over to Ben Lyons. Ben, are you there?
Hey, this is Raymond.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
No problem. Hey, Coach, how's it going?
Good, Raymond. How are you?
I'm fine. Just quick question. With everything going on with COVID-19 and then the civil unrest that followed, in regards to the situations with George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, this might be the first season ever where basketball could be pretty much relegated to a footnote almost. Just wanted to ask, how has it been like trying to get focused? Have you found it a little harder to focus, or has everything going on made you laser in even more to get ready for the season?
Yeah, I think it's been back and forth, and up and down for everyone. As you stated, 2020 will be a year that we'll never ever forget. It'll change our lives forever. As far as I'm concerned, it started with the loss of Kobe and Gianna and the other members of that helicopter January 26th. So that's how 2020 started. And, it's just been nonstop. Yeah, I think the essence of basketball in terms of it being more of a priority maybe than other things that we typically, like to call priorities, I guess. I think it'll be in its rightful place, like whether COVID or not, civil unrest or not. Basketball should never trump humanity. Basketball should never be more of a priority than confronting racism. Basketball should never be more important than gender equality. I could go on and on. So I don't think basketball's place necessarily has changed. I think it still can live where it always has lived, as an opportunity for people of any color, regardless of race, regardless of gender, find something that they can pour themselves into that helps them to become a better version of who they are, right? The things that you have to persevere through and work through as an athlete, as a coach, etc. It teaches you a lot about life. And I think, we all find ourselves on the same team now in terms of fighting systemic racism and trying to figure out how to beat this virus. And, sports can be used as a way to still communicate the message that we're all in this together. This is what our jobs are. Some people work at the grocery store. Some people work at hospitals. Some people work for FedEx. We work for the LA Sparks. And this is how many of these ladies pay their bills. And so it's important, but we're going to respect the fact that we should not see ourselves as more important than others. We just have to make sure that we're doing the right things and making sure we're saying the right things so everybody understands that in our actions and the way we carry ourselves.
Time for two more for Coach. We'll go to Miriam Swanson, LA Daily News.
Hey, Derek, nice to see you.
Nice to see you, Ramiro.
Hey. So I just wanted to follow up on that and just, you've had such a career, and I wonder if there's a time that you've been thinking of that maybe comes to mind where basketball sort of did something good for humanity in that way that you can share with us.
Yeah, there's no year like this one. That's a really good question. I'm not sure if only what comes to mind maybe is 9/11, and not really necessarily basketball specific, but just kind of sports in general. I remember after 9/11, the first, I don't know if it was a regular season game. I think it was our first regular season game at home in the Staples Center. And Vanessa Williams sang the national anthem. And I don't ever remember being more moved by what that meant at that time for our country. And so sometimes when sports, although it could be a byline, at different times, depending on what's going on in the world, it does symbolize for brief moments, this idea that we just might be okay after all of this is said and done, right? And sometimes you need that, even in the midst of the worst possible things and experiences. You just need somebody to tell you it's going to be okay. You need somebody to show you that it's going to be okay. And sometimes that's all athletes are. Like, we're athletes and players and coaches are not more important than other people, but just vessels and symbols sometimes of, even though it really sucks right now, what's going on in this country, I can turn on and watch some people still, choosing to try and go to work and try and work through this the same way I am. And sometimes that's okay. So You know, this won't be the last time that we have to kind of figure it out, and but we have to do it together. So I'm not sure if I answered, you know, the question in a very strong way in terms of a specific time, but I guess fortunately there's never been a time like this one to look back on and compare to.
Last question for Coach John W. Davis, the Insider.
Hey, Coach, how's it going?
I'm good, John. How you doing?
Doing well. Thank you so much. Wanted to ask two questions. One, I wanted to ask, try to get an update from you about scrimmaging. Did you have a chance to talk to any other teams and lockdown scrimmages? Will you be scrimmaging this week at any point? That would be my first question.
Okay. Yeah. For we got some scrimmaging in today with our group though. We did not scrimmage against any opponent or other team. I think scheduling wise, it just didn't work out. Everybody's off days or kind of how they're gearing their teams up were different. And so some of the teams we reached out to, they didn't practice today. But yeah, we got up and down today at a pretty good rate and, you know, got some things accomplished. The players were really excited to get, you know, up and down the court and compete and get after it. And, you know, we have a ways to go, but they enjoyed it. And, you know, we'll, you know, take the next couple of days and see what we can do to continue to prepare ourselves for Saturday, but still be smart as we play 4 games in 7 days once this thing starts.
And then as you scrimmaged, can you tell us, you know, who did you start on your starting team? And then how are you processing, like, who you should start when you have so many people who won't be starting, who have started before in the league, like maybe Sydney or Seimone or Brittany Sykes? I mean, you have even Rashawn DeGray. You have other people who have started. So who are you thinking about starting, and then how are you processing choosing that lineup?
Yeah, I mean, today we kind of, and typically, you know, in my experience, like you really try and see many people blended together throughout the course of training camp without necessarily saying this is the starting group, this is the group that is going to be coming off the bench, because you know, you need to allow some room for players to show you what they can do and how they will fit together as a group. There could be a player that is not necessarily, quote unquote, a starter based on her career stats, her numbers, her averages. But when she's out there with these players, she looks really, really good. And so we didn't have like a starter bench group in terms of scrimmaging each other. It was a blend of 5 and 5, some starters and some, I guess, not starters. In terms of processing the way we're thinking about approaching, you know, starting on Saturday, you know, I think it'll depend again on the next couple of days. You know, we obviously play Phoenix opening up, so, you know, and thinking about matchups and the best ways to play against Phoenix. And I think we have that ability as a group that we could start 5 players on Saturday and a different 5 players on Tuesday and still give ourselves a chance to win. And I think because of, like you said, the number of players from Raquana to Brittany Sykes, to Seimone Augustus, to Sydney, etc. Like, you know, we have a number of players that have started. They've come off the bench. I think the most important thing is having a group of players that are willing to do whatever it takes to help the team. And this group really feels that way. So we'll see how it goes. And, you know, I'm sure at some point, you know, by Friday evening, we'll know for sure what's the best 5 to put out there on Saturday afternoon.
Thank you, Coach.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Tierra, Ruffin-Pratt. We will start with Lindsay Gibbs.
Yeah, hey Tierra, I just wanted to ask about how the Social Justice Council was going. I've heard that you guys have had a couple of meetings already in the bubble, and also going into this weekend, just in particular, what does it mean to you to have Breonna Taylor's name on the back of the jerseys?
The Social Justice Council is going great. We're trying to come up with some different ideas as to how we can still be a part of what's going on outside of the bubble while we're in here, using our platform as best we can, using our games, our media, the league as best we can to bring awareness to what's going on in the country and in the world right now. It's a big deal to be able to wear Breonna Taylor's name on the back because we're still trying to get justice for her. So it's another way just to use our platform and that to be seen. With 13 of our games being televised, people will see that, and hopefully we'll continue to try to bring justice to her and her family.
Leah Secondo, Spectrum Sportsnet.
Tierra, to follow up on that, is there a platform that is, that you were bringing to the council that you wanted to get involved with a little bit more at this point, or are you still all trying to kind of collaborate on that topic?
We've all used our platforms in our own personal way around the league. So we're just trying to collectively come together and unite as one group, one league, and use our voices that way, because being together and having a collective effort is better than being individuals. So we're just trying to use our platform as one unit and try to grow from there. Because we've done a lot, and I think as much as we can individually. So together we're going to try to do a little bit more.
Time for one more tonight. We'll go to Miriam Swanson, LA Daily News.
Hey, Tierra. I wanted to ask about Leja and sort of her role on the Social Justice Council, and sort of what she's meant to that group and to you guys as sort of a voice for everything that's going on.
Leja has been great. She's the head of the Social Justice Council. She kind of put this thing together and kind of got the ball rolling on things. She's been doing everything she can to try to bring us together, get the league and the players on the same page. That's what we want to do and what we can do as a league and as players together, to be on one accord. So I think she's done a phenomenal job putting this together and helping us come together as a council to be as best we can for the whole league and be the voice for those who can't speak for themselves. So Leisha, big ups to her for even putting this together and getting us where we are as far as we are now.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
All right, we'll start with John W. Davis with Winsider.
Hey, Money Moan, Funny Moan, how you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
Doing well, doing well. Nice to hear you laughing a little bit. So I want to get your perspective. How do you think the scrimmage went today, and how did that feel to really go hard for a little bit against each other?
Oh, that felt good. We've been talking about it. We've been waiting for it, and it finally happened today. We did 5 segments, I believe, of breakdown, and so it was the first few segments, the first 2 segments. It was, it was kind of rough. We're getting to know each other, learn how each other plays, communicating, figuring defensive schemes out, offensive schemes out. It was pretty tough. But the last 3 was actually very intense. It was what we expected when we started, scrimmaging or whatever. So it was great to see the young players kind of come around, the vets, taking care of them, making sure everything was going well. And then win-wise, a lot of us have been waiting. I haven't played since October, November of last year with USA Basketball. So it was good to kind of get that burn right up in here. So everybody was kind of surprised with the fact that their cardio was a little bit better than what we probably expected.
Pavi with H&B Media.
Hey, Seimone, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. So judging off that scrimmage, obviously you guys are going to be in mid-season form, already. But with the first game on Saturday, I guess how close to where you guys need to be do you think you are right now?
We're pretty close. If I had to judge, like probably about 75%. You know, we just put in a few plays. Obviously, we're not the whole playbook isn't in and everything, but I think we're close to being where we want to be as far as being comfortable with one another, being able to execute the game plan, and play off of each other when the time comes. Obviously, we still got a few kinks here and there, and as we scout different teams and they scout us, it'll be a lot harder. But I think we're going to be fine the first few games.
Leah Secondo, Spectrum Sportsnet.
Seimone, in evaluating your teammates, is there anyone that in particular that with the new group here that for you that kind of surprised you or has really made you turn your head a little bit more from your experience with them in this short period of time?
Tia has done a great job. Obviously, she has big shoes to fill behind Chelsea, but as far as being a floor general and controlling the pace, being confident and finding her shots and things like that, that she's been very impressive on that side, as well as defense. Like, she hasn't backed down from any challenge or any person that, she has to guard in particular. Chelsea's a very tough guard, big guard at her position, and she's been able to kind of handle her own with her as well as Raquana Williams. Probably one of the fastest players, if not the fastest player in this league, and she's been able to keep pace with her, as well as Chris Anigwe. Her ability, her jumping ability, her physicality has been great with helping, Candace, NECA, Gray, all of those players like get ready, like her ability to rebound, offensive rebound, get to the rim, things like that has really helped. So those two players have really impressed me over the last few days or last few weeks with their progress.
Time for two more. Miriam Swanson, LA Daily News.
Hey, Simone. So Chelsea Gray was saying that can you hear me? Yeah, that she put you guys through a spelling bee the other day. What your thoughts on that were? And then and who's the best cook on the team?
Who's the best cook? Well, I haven't had everybody's cooking. Only NECA's at this point because that's my roommate. And then Chelsea had the get together at her house, so that was really good. It was tacos, and the spelling bee was great. We found out who our strong spellers are and our weakest spellers were, who can really retain information and who we got to help out a little bit more. But it was fun. It was very fun. That's what we needed. That's the kind of team bonding that goes into kind of building, especially in the Wubble, when we normally would be at home and probably, getting out, going do some things out in the city. As a team, we kind of found a time and a place to be able to do some team bonding within the Wubble.
Last question for Simone. Lindsay Gibbs with Power Plays.
Yeah, hi, Simone. I just wanted to ask you this weekend, being dedicated to social justice in the whole season, what does it mean to you to have Breonna Taylor's name on the back of your jersey? And what do you hope people watching will take from that?
It means a lot as a Black woman in America, hoping to raise Black kids, to be able to be a part of the change that we hope to see in the near future with creating justice for everyone, and particularly Black women. To be able to honor her in that way and hopefully get the results that we want out of that. But being able to use, like I said before, being able to use our platforms, making our voices heard, being loud and doing as much as we can while we're in the Wubble to make sure that we're doing our part as athletes to bring awareness to what's going on in the world and being a part of that.
Thank you so much. All right, media, last up tonight is Sydney Wiese. We will go right into questions. Please use the raise hand function. We'll start with Pavi with H&B Media.
Hey, Sydney, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Fine. So, obviously, you guys aren't going to be in mid-season form. But with the first game coming up on Saturday, I know you guys had a scrimmage today. I guess, how close are you guys to being where you want to be for game one?
Well, a phrase that our team is going to be living by this season is Kaizen, which means good change every moment, every day. And so obviously there's always room for improvement. The aim for a team each season is to reach its potential or exceed its potential. And with this group, the sky is truly the limit. And so we're just going to take each day as it comes. We're looking forward to preparing for Saturday. And then once Saturday comes, we'll be able to get our first dose of where we're at and see for sure what we need to improve on, and then just go from there. And so it's going to be exciting to finally take the floor, but we're just going to be focused on improving and doing what we can each possession.
John W. Davis, Winsider.
Hey, Sid, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good, good, good. First of all, seems like you're getting your chicken seasoning game up.
Listen, please. Yep. Yep. I'm trying my best here. Slim is the magician behind. She's everything. So I'm just learning. I'm learning as I go.
I appreciate that. Let me ask you about the scrimmage. How did it feel to you? And how did you feel I assume you kind of switched back and forth on different teams and got a chance to play with different people. How did that feel?
Yeah, I think, you're letting us out of the gate. And so you feel fast, and that's natural because you're super excited to finally play 5-on-5 and go at each other because we're all natural competitors. And so we definitely had to slow it down a little bit, make sure that we had that pace, that organization, spacing, different things that are staples on both ends of the floor. But I think it's going to be good film for us before we take the floor on Saturday. It's good to go 5-on-5 and get a feel. The only way to really get to know each other is to go through those experiences, learning one another on the floor, playing with one another, asking questions, going through certain experiences that you wouldn't necessarily be able to learn simply by watching film. And so it felt good to play with different people. And we've been doing that the last few weeks, mixing up the lineups. We're not just playing with a set 5 each time. And so it felt good to get different looks out there with different people. And we're just going to continue to get better as we go.
Leah Secondo, calling games for Spectrum Sportsnet.
My question for you is, what were you doing when you got word when everything came down with the pandemic, and what were you doing in preparation prior to that and through this leading up to camp to maybe bring something different into your game this year?
I was over in Spain as everything was taking place around the world with the pandemic, and came home early. Our season got suspended, just like a lot of leagues throughout the world. And then I was at home in Phoenix for most of my time, and there weren't really any gyms open. And so it took me back to my roots, doing those at-home workouts get the job done. And so it was amazing to work my body in different ways. And I took a step back from basketball workouts to give my body a rest, because you pound on the same muscles so frequently, especially since we play year round. And so as it became more set in stone that we were going to be having a season, then I started to ramp back into basketball workouts and working on certain things, the pace of my shot, making sure that I'm staying low, that everything is consistent and aligned as best as I can. I know I sort of shoot sideways, so whatever that looks like, to do that consistently. And so then, being prepared for however I'm going to be called upon. And so I feel super confident and grateful, and for my teammates and for the coaching staff and the trust and belief that they have in me. And so now it's just a matter of going out there, keeping the game super simple and executing on both ends of the floor.
Raymond Lyons, made for the W.
Hey, Sydney, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Hey, so if you guys kind of coming down to the wire here with the first game on Saturday and starting to do team things like getting up and down and playing 5-on-5, have you been able to just kind of have any sense of normalcy despite being, in this abnormal situation?
I think playing is pretty normal to us, and we're grateful to have that time together. I know that we all have our certain rhythms and routines that come with in-season training camp, whatever the case may be. And we knew coming into it that we had to be able to accommodate differing schedules, things that we thought would be set in stone that had to be switched up. And so we're trying to roll with the punches however they're coming at us. And so it's testing how flexible we can be as people and as a team. And I think I look at our leadership and I look at the experience within this group, and it's amazing to see how people who do have their routines and things that they're used to doing, they're adjusting on the fly and they're making the most of each situation. And so whenever you step onto the court, it's pretty simple. You just got to beat the person in front of you and make sure that they don't beat you. And so that is the sense of normalcy that that we get to experience within this place, and to do it together, that makes it even more special.
Time for two more. Lindsay Gibbs with Power Plays.
Yeah, hi, thanks so much for chatting. I want to ask you, what does it mean to you to have Breonna Taylor's name on the back of your jersey this weekend? And as, you know, one of the few white players in this league, what do you see your role in the social justice movement as?
Yeah, it reminds me of the point. You know, we talk about basketball, we talk about championships, we talk about each game, but that's the point. We are out here to use our platform. Basketball is our vessel. And I'm here to learn. I'm here to ask questions. I'm here to do what I can to be an ally, to be actively anti-racist. And I've been learning on the go. You know, I'm new to being vocal. I'm new to really stepping into this reality that has been present throughout the whole existence of our country, and really owning that history and looking how we can be better and how we can actively initiate change and how we can amplify voices. And so I'm just here to learn, to observe, and then also to use my platform to speak, because silence is no longer an option. And so at first, what was holding me back is I didn't want to say the wrong thing. I didn't feel like it was my place to say anything, but there's no time for that anymore. And so to have her name on the back of our jersey, that's what it's about. She represents so many others that don't necessarily have the platform that we do. And we're going to make sure that we use this platform to the best of our abilities to make sure that she is remembered and that she gets justice.
Our last question tonight, Miriam Swanson, LA Daily News.
Hey, Sydney. So with all the important things going on in the world, I have a very important question. Who was on the team that won the spelling bee?
Listen, that's also a very, very fresh wound. We got last place, and who won? I stopped paying attention once our team got eliminated, but it wasn't us.
All right. That's all.
Yeah, that was emotional. I'm still emotional about it.
All right. Thank you so much, Sydney.
Thank you, guys. Go Sparks.
Thank you, media. We'll send out the link to this video.